What's up, War Room? Welcome back. Joe and Connor, Discord mailbag edition, rapid fire, radio row. We just recorded the pod. CR, you ready to dive into these?
Let's do it. I am so behind in the Discord these days because I was at Senior Bowl. Then I was home and I looked at it over the weekend. And then now I'm in New Orleans. So I cannot even fathom or imagine what's going on in there at this point.
I'm putting the glasses on for this one because we got so many damn questions.
Serious business.
I'm going to start with one with Dalbin because he always gets the right to go first. We'll ask Dalbin to maybe MC this live show for us too while we're at it. If y'all could take one player from any team, non-QB, and put them on the Jets, who would it be? Non-quarterback, any player on the New York Jets right now. So their biggest need besides quarterback at the moment, let's assume Devontae Adams and receiver.
I know mine right away.
Yeah. Okay, what is it? What do you got?
Just Justin Jefferson. Immediately.
Yeah.
Him or Jamar Chase.
Hard to argue with that. Chase.
It's him or Jamar Chase with the bullet. It's amazing for the first time because we get this question I think every offseason. Yeah. We always have to answer a tackle.
Yeah.
And we don't.
We don't have to do that this year.
And it's a non-quarterback, right? Just to confirm.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
non-quarterback.
It's Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase for age, talent, and position reasons.
And how critical receiver is like in today's NFL. Like you can't go wrong with the points, and you can't go wrong with the output there.
I have a sneaky one. The sneaky one is Dexter Lawrence from the Giants.
Yeah, I like that.
I think he's the best defensive tackle in the NFL by a
which is their biggest non-quarterback receiver need at the moment.
Right.
So plug that right there.
I mean, him and Quinnen next to each other would totally change the dynamic of your football team. So that's but like if Myles Garrett wasn't 29, and I mean he's still going to be great for a really long time, but I believe in the Jets pass rush. Like I think Jermaine McDonald and one more player next year are going to be totally adequate edge rush. Not Myles Garrett, but I'm trying to it's all about the difference you're making. The Jets' number 2 wide receiver, whoever the fuck that is going to be, assuming Devontae is gone, Malachi Corley to Justin Jefferson or Malachi Corley to Jamar Chase is the biggest jump you can probably make, right?
You're never going to hear me complain about adding a receiver like that, and it's hard to debate. My mind was going to the defensive line, and I do think Lawrence would be the most exciting fit next to Quinnen, but you just draft Mason Graham at 7, and then you got Jefferson and Garrett Wilson. Who the hell's stopping that? This is like Tyrod bombing up. All right, I feel like we answer this one every year too, but it's important to re-up it. From M. Kava, if the Jets are playing in the Super Bowl this weekend, what are your watching plans if you couldn't attend the game for some reason? Now, quick history, I've been to 2 Super Bowls in my life. I went last year, got to watch Jet legend Mecole Hardman win the game. I had to suffer through Patriots-Rams, which in Atlanta was disgusting, but it was still
That's terrible.
CR, how many actual games have you been to? I know you're there for media purposes.
I have never gone to the Super Bowl game. I come here now for Radio Row every year. I never stay for the game. The reality is, even if I could kind of push my job or ask around my job for a ticket, I have the Senior Bowl the week before every year. By the time the second week ends of me being on the road, usually in the South, I cannot wait to be home and watch the game on my couch, and I don't know if I've said this before. You're right. We get this question a lot. If the Jets were in the Super Bowl, I would probably go. But if my dad went, or we went for work for SMY pre and post game, which hopefully that would make some sense. But if I wasn't, I would have no interest in going if it wasn't those 2 scenarios. I would be so uncomfortable watching the Jets in the Super Bowl at the stadium. It's just, if the Jets were in the Super Bowl and my dad wasn't going with me, I would prefer that we were back home and nobody comes over. I don't want I would tell my mom, and I probably wouldn't have to tell her. She'd probably understand. It's nothing against anyone. I just could not imagine the stakes after what we have been through. I'm 33 years old, and the only time I ever remember the stakes being understanding the stakes was when they lost to the Steelers. Yeah. When David Harris gave up that 3rd down completion at the end of the game, that was the biggest sinking feeling you can ever have. Yeah. And now looking back on it, knowing how long it's going to take to even get back to that moment, the Super Bowl would just be, I don't know how much I can enjoy it, honestly, in person. I know it sounds terrible. I just don't know how much I can enjoy it with the Jets in it. Any other game I could.
If we couldn't attend the game, and I think I'd have a hard time attending the game, just to be in the building with other.
Because you got to realize,
like,
you know this better than me. You're not on the 50-yard line.
It's not that kind of like crowd or environment either. I would want to be in the city just to see all the Jet fans taking over the city.
Agree.
And like what that experience would be like. So I'd almost want to be there like Monday through like Saturday night, and then either barricade myself alone in a hotel room like Sunday for the game, or just come home and watch.
I'd go home.
The only people I'd watch it with would be my cousins and my uncle and my dad, who are the people I watched the Colts AFC Championship game with. So my uncle and cousins are on my mom's side of the family, who are all Jet fans. My dad, actually, again, I've said this before, is a Giants fan, but I still watched a ton of Jet games with him, and obviously I've spent my entire like learning football life with him, so I'd want to be with him. My mom would have to be there too. She'd probably kill me. My mom's actually extremely crazy watching games with, so I don't know if I could take the anxiety. I'm getting anxiety talking about.
All right, this has made me like so uncomfortable.
Honestly, I'd most likely be alone for most of it. I literally sobbed like a baby when the Jets lost to the Steelers, and this is the only time. I've said this before. Also, I was supposed to cover the game for SB Nation New York, and I just didn't.
You just bailed.
I just bailed. So I'm getting sad and anxiety talking about something that should be really happy, but I would want to be in the city because if they win, I'd want to be out in the streets celebrating with everyone, and then the parade.
I
I'm
agree.
off for work for like a month. Like I've already established that.
When they beat the Patriots in Foxborough, the celebration, because I was a freshman in college on campus, was unbelievable. And then I remember the following year when the Giants won the Super Bowl. I don't know if I've told this story. This is an insane story. I lived with a ton of Giants fans. And rightfully so, like they're having the time of their life when the Giants are about to beat the Patriots again. And I was seeing this girl at the time who was out downtown, and I was in my dorm common room with all the dudes that are going nuts. And like, mind you, it's the Giants and the Patriots. So for me, and this is a year after the Jets got knocked out in the AFC Championship game, I was kind of a miserable football fan, but I was happy for my friends. But she calls me and she's like, "Oh, can you come pick me up?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Like I don't really want to even be around when all the celebrations going on campus. And I remember driving off campus downtown. It was like there's just people in the streets and stuff. It was chaos. But my buddy, when the Giants won, there was a big bay window of the suite, and he slammed on it when the Giants won. He was a huge Giants fan, and he smashed the window, and security was down below. So the cops came, wrote them all like tickets. They had to take these classes and all of this stuff. And I wasn't drinking that night. I wasn't doing anything. So I got out of it. Thank God, because if I was sober and had to go through all of that for two teams that I do not like anyway, it would have been awful. So it actually ended up being the best situation that I stepped out to go drive for like 25 minutes. That's my memory of the Giants winning that Super Bowl. I was very lucky.
God bless college. Yeah. For that year when the Jets beat the Pats, I was running around Washington Street. I think I went into Black Bear where they had all like the TVs up on the wall, and I was just buying people drinks, running around like a maniac. Happy days. We got a question from Rich Ryan on who we want to see the Jets open with, and I'm scrolling through their schedule now, and I want the most mundane, winnable.
I agree.
1:00 Sunday games. So the ones that are coming to mind for me are home against Atlanta would be like great. Home against Atlanta, I could live with like a little 1:00 kickoff. Yeah, home against Shoddy in Dallas, 1:00.
Done.
That'd be an interesting one. Yeah, I'd like to avoid the divisional games, although playing Vrabel in New England week 1 would be kind of interesting. Cleveland could be pretty damn bad next year. I don't know what the hell's going to happen with their quarterback situation. Like home against Cleveland week 1, like 2015, 1:00. I could go with. I could live with that.
This is really interesting. I align with you that
I want like the D announcers on CBS.
I would be fine with 1:00 against the Panthers at home.
Beautiful.
That's
perfect.
That's probably the number one game if we were power ranking them. I don't mind going to New Orleans. I think the Jets fans would travel well for that. New Orleans, as I am here right now,
Aaron Glenn comfortable in the building,
right? Yeah, that's like a cool story, and it's not the most boring, but it's going to Jacksonville. Although that should be a London game, correct? Or we don't know. Do we know yet?
No, it's actually Cleveland's a London game, so we can't have
Cleveland's a London game.
So it's
I
got
was
to
just
be
thinking
Atlanta.
that. Can't be that.
It's got to be Atlanta, Carolina, New Orleans. We want the NFC
I don't
South
want
games.
Penix week 1. That's my even though you could go 2 different ways. I feel like they're gonna honestly play the Bills week 1.
I think so. It'll be
like
Bills
at
or
Buffalo.
Dolphins, I think.
They'll be like they'll get like that shittiest draw week 1.
Although, couldn't you see them teeing up the Vrabel thing? Like, I could see Jets Pats maybe week 1. It's been a long time since the Jets and
it's
Pats
actually
played week 1.
That's what they should do, the NFL, because it's Glenn
fun.
versus Vrabel. Both teams are not really good right now, but both teams, there's a world where they both easily are good next year because the Jets have the talent and New England will have, we think New England's going to have good coaching and Drake May should be really good eventually. So that's a good idea. I don't want it. That's stressful week 1. I'm like you. Stressful. I want low stress.
I want the joys of 1-0 and just like, we're 1-0. And just
you know, hey, the era's off to a good start and, you know, Glenn the GOAT. Like, just fire up all the hashtag.
Underdog Fantasy, Super Bowl week, promo code Badlands, get your deposit match. I just tweeted out some of the amazing offers that they are going to have for users. Take advantage of the big game. Use promo code Badlands. How many times do we have to tell you this is the final game of the season? I will have my official picks out. CR, give us one you're leaning to for higher lowers going into the big game.
I have a play and pick 'em that I've been riding for weeks right now, and I never care what the number is. And I believe it's settling around 23.5. I'm sure it'll go up. Saquon Barkley's longest rush over every single time, because you really, like, a running back can't have a longest rush set at 45.5. That's just so insane and unfair. But Saquon basically has a 20-plus yard rush every single week. That is the pick and play. I will miss it so much when this football season is over.
There you go. Put it in, promo code Badlands, get the deposit match, getting twice the money, basically. Use it, Underdog Fantasy. I'm going to shout out Ghost of Manish here, who asked no less than 36 questions that we're going to have to spread between multiple episodes. So I'm going to just pick some of these are ridiculous, but